Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is JoJo Palacio, and on this channel, we talk about all things beauty. Today is no different. Today we're doing a cute little soft glam moment. I definitely had some fun with the liner just because we kept the look super simple and super cute. I feel like I haven't done a drugstore makeup tutorial in a really long time, like all drugstore. And so today that was the goal. I aimed for a full-on drugstore makeup tutorial for you guys. That way you got to get a little bit of some of that inexpensive makeup content because I love it. I know you love it. So let's get started on today's look. I just want to encourage you guys this morning, today, every single day to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Every Wednesday and Sunday you will receive a new video from me on content related to all things beauty, as well as follow me on Instagram. It's JoJo_Palacio, where we talk about beauty, faith, motivational, inspirational, a little bit of everything, which I hope that you guys love. Don't forget to comment down below and hit the thumbs up if you love videos like this, if you love my channel, and also share it with the world on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever, just share. All right, so let's get started on this look. All right guys, so let's get started on this eye look. This eye is primed already and it is set with powder. I like to use a primer because I like the way that the makeup wears better, as well as the way that I blend things out when I use it. So if you have a question on which one is best for you, always comment down below, send me a DM on Instagram. I love the consultation part of my job. It is probably one of my favorite things to do. So what I'm gonna do is, actually I don't think I set this one, so I'm gonna set it real quick with my MAC pressed powder, and we are just going to push up against it until we feel like we've covered the entire lid. One thing I want you guys to remember is that your eyelid is a very sensitive, very delicate area, so always be kind, light pressure. Don't feel like you have to push down on it to get the color or the payoff that you need. So starting this very simple graphic liner, very soft glam moment, I'm going to take this guy right here. So this is the Makeup Check, the Muse palette. I really like this palette because it's got a ton of neutrals, some pops of color. I feel like this is pretty appropriate for springtime for those of us who are neutral girls but want to try something different, because there's really pretty formulas in this palette. Very easy to blend out, very easy to use, yet you don't have to be super intimidated by the colors that are in here. So with this eye look, we're going to keep it very matte, very simple. What I'm going to do is take this guy right here in the corner, which is Iconic. I'm gonna pick up Iconic with this brush. This is the number 7 brush from BH Cosmetics. They have a Carnival collection, which is super cute because it comes with the brushes and the carrying case. So look them up if you haven't considered brushes, or if you've been looking for brushes and you want something inexpensive but really good quality. BH Cosmetics have to be one of my favorites, as well as Morphe and the Makeup Shack. So this is a nice fluffy brush, very, I would say large for a blending brush. It's got the long bristles, which means that we're just going to lightly coat. This is not one to pack, it's seriously just a blend. All right, so that one's a barely there type of color, but we truly do need it. Moving on, we're gonna switch gears in the brushes. So the brush is still about the same length. It's just a little less fluffy because we're gonna go down and we're gonna try to, we are controlling exactly where we're putting the next color. And so the next color that we're using is this guy here, which is called Kim. With brushes like these that are very fluffy, very loose, I wanna say, it's nice because you can still blend and you can still see definition of the color, like building, but it's not as intense. This is a very soft, subtle type of eye. I would consider it like a soft glam, soft brown type of smoky eye, but nothing super intense. And I always just like to keep the first brush that we used, or even a clean brush, nearby just so we can soften up the edges, because again, the blend to this is very smoky. We don't want to see where things stop and start. It should be a very easy transition. Okay, and we're gonna jump one more shade and one more brush. I'm gonna use this guy right here, which is a very small blending brush, and we're gonna pick up this color right here called Resi. So Resi, I wanna keep in the outer V, which is literally right here. We're gonna apply the most of Resi there, so I'm gonna just stay here for a minute. Remember that whenever you lay your brush down, that first area that it touches, it's gonna be the darkest, so make sure that you're okay with it being super dark there, and then you blend out anywhere else. And I just wanted to create a little bit of definition to the smoky eye. I didn't want it to be just one tone, but you can definitely just use Kim all over and you'd still get the same type of eye look. Okay, very pretty. So next what we're gonna do is work on the liner. To get a very fine line, I'm gonna use my Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. This is probably gonna be one of two things that is not drugstore in this look, but I just like the way that this micro tip gets it perfectly thin in the right areas, and I don't have to worry about an overwhelmingly thick line. So let me just get my liner on, and then we'll talk about how I did this little white piece. All right guys, so you see how we have kind of the wing going on, but not really. So I started off by doing a very thin line at the very top. And then next what I'm gonna do is take a white liner. I would prefer a liquid, but I don't have any liquid liners. And I feel like it takes doing a look like this to realize what you're missing in your collection. So what I'm gonna do is take one of my favorite gel pencils. This is the BH Cosmetics Power Pencil in the color white. And so what I like to do is just make sure that I wipe off anything that might have gotten left over from doing the other eye. And we're gonna draw a line directly underneath the block. Now I realize that that line is way too thick, so what I like to do is just keep a wipey nearby, and I will use my finger nail to just clean this up. Just like that. And then we're gonna go back in with the Stila Micro Tip, and we're just gonna finish our liner. All right guys, so I put some mascara on, the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara. I think that is an amazing mascara if you're looking for something for every day that does volume and separates at the same time. And then I'm wearing my Lily lashes in the style Miami Light. I like the lights because they're still wispy, they're still flirty, you can still see plenty of lash, yet you can still see the look behind the lash, which is very important for us today because we've got a little graphic liner moment, you know? So let's work on some complexion because complexion is definitely important for today. I am sticking to mostly drugstore products for this look, like I mentioned in the intro, because I haven't done an all drugstore in a while. And I just felt like you guys love it, I love it, I've got a ton of it, so why not? For my primer combination of the day, we are using some more e.l.f. We're using the e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer as well as the Mint Melt Cooling Face Primer. I'm actually trying to do a little bit of a Shein haul lookbook type of moment for you guys. On my, I want to say on my Instagram, I'm going to start posting tons of pictures from my most recent haul. But because I'm going to take the pictures outside today, I figured I should just reinforce and do a little bit of mattifying in my T-zone. The cool thing about this formula is that it's not only mattifying, it also helps to cover my pores. So that's always a plus. And then to help my makeup last regardless of what is going on outside, we're gonna use this Mint Melt, which is amazing. This is very comparable to the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, except it is way less expensive. We're just gonna apply that. I always just wanna remind you guys, I do my skincare before I start any type of makeup. It's very important that your skincare is your first step in prepping your skin besides the primers. That's really gonna help treat your skin so that it is its best, and then the primers just help to kind of reinforce that. Capiche? Capiche. So for drugstore combination, I love this when I tried it first impressions, and I still love it. So we're gonna do a mix of the NYX Total Control Drops as well as a Born to Glow foundation. One is just coverage, very lightweight though, and the other one is radiance, and we're going for a very radiant springtime type of look. So I figured, why not? I'm gonna take, main foundation is gonna be a couple of drops of this Total Control. I like to mix foundations and products in the back of my hand, whether it is to build them up or to just kind of tone them down a little bit. I love using the back of my hand. I know that there are these professional palettes that you can use nowadays, but I don't want to. What do you guys think of that? Like, what do you mix your foundations in? I'm just curious. Or do you just go directly to the face? I just feel like it's easier to use the back of my hand to work things down. I can see the consistency, I can see the coverage, I can see how the product feels before I go onto the face so that I know, you know? Once it's on the face, you're too late, baby. It's done. Look at that radiance, look at the coverage, look at the glow. And it's drugstore, y'all. Like, drugstore. Yes, ma'am, thank you. So we're just gonna work that in. Again, there are areas that I leave with a little bit of product or maybe no product, like directly under my eyes, the forehead, sometimes the nose I'll cover just a little bit. But I'm gonna reinforce those areas with concealer. And layering, the best way to layer is to not put it all over certain areas. Like for me, I can get very cakey very easily underneath of my eyes, around my mouth. So I just am aware of that and I'll use less product. What I'm gonna do now is just push this in with my beauty blender. Yes, I said beauty blender. You guys remember my last haul, I got given a ton of beauty blenders. And so I figured if you have them, girl, God bless, use them. And I like doing this after applying any foundation. I'll just press it in with a sponge to help the way that it wears. All right, so let's go into contouring and bronzing. This look is gonna be a very bronzy look. I need bronzy in my life just because it's springtime and I just need it. Like I need it. So I'm gonna use my Wet n Wild contour stick in Call Me Maple. We're gonna apply this in all the areas. And so I apply it in the shape of an E or a 3, depending on where you're looking. Why is it after you have your foundation on that thing starts to get itchy? Shame on you. Like really itchy. Ugh. And this color is very warm and I want to go in with something a little deeper to contour. So I'm going to use my LA Girl Pro Conceal in Beautiful Bronze. I'm going to put that a little lower. They're actually very similar colors, just a slightly pinch deeper this one is. All right, to blend that in, we're gonna use our handy dandy BH Cosmetics angled brush. This is a very dense buffing brush almost, and I'm just gonna buff this into the hairline to just blend it out. I love this combination of products because it is very natural, very skin-like looking, and it gets me to where I need to be, which is contoured and chiseled. For the nose contour, I'm just gonna work this in, buffing it with the sponge. It's just more precise. And I don't want the lines to fade completely. We're gonna leave them a little messy because we're gonna go in with concealer next. So the concealer is gonna help us conceal, clean up a little bit of our contour, as well as highlight or bring it forward. So what I mean by that is we use 2 different shades. The first shade that we're gonna use is Light Sand, which is very similar to our foundation, if not 1 shade lighter. And I like to put that in the very inner corners, anywhere where I have a blemish, a scar, redness that I want to hide. And then I use this one to kind of clean this up right here. And so we're going to let these areas kind of work and set themselves in. I like the concealer to dry up a little bit before we go in and buff that out. But here, I'm going to work pinching my beauty blender and just kind of working this into this lower area, softening up the cheek so we don't look like we've got a beard, y'all. Then now when it comes to the forehead, we're just gonna pinch the very tip of the beauty blender and just go right over our brows and just kind of keep it very close to in between the brows. I want to make sure that I don't do away with too much of my contour because I want to condense the forehead, not enhance. And something I notice at work when I'm at Sephora is clients don't realize that you are pouncing and pressing in the products. You're not swiping ever. Whether it's with a brush or a sponge, no swipe. Swiper, no swiping, right? Is that what Dora said? Yeah. All right, and so this little guy is gonna stay directly underneath of the eye and up against that nose contour to help us define. This is called reverse contouring, when you use a concealer or a highlighting shade to help you kind of counteract the shadows. Which I am all for, by the way. If you're a beginner and you don't really want to play with something as dark as a contour, by all means, use your concealer below the areas that you would want to contour, and that's called reverse contouring, and it absolutely works. Once you master that and you want to add a little bit of that contouring shade with the stick or a powder, go ahead. I don't remember if I told you guys what this was. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. And that was Light Sand. We're using Light Ivory now, and this is a highlighting shade. So my highlighting shade, what I like to do is reinforce this inner corner, a little bit in the center of the forehead to bring that part forward. We're gonna work it up directly below that liner to lift the cheekbones, and then some here and definitely down the center of the nose. So again, we're gonna leave the under eye area for last. We're just gonna start blending out the other areas. Yes, facelift, come through. Guys, how amazing do our under eyes look? How amazing does our complexion look right now? Like, I'm obsessed with this. So what I like to do is go ahead and set with a little bit of pressed powder and then some loose powder. The pressed powder is just to further help me hydrate. And so what I like to do is pick up the C2 Studio Fix pressed powder with a nice tapered brush, and then what I'm gonna do is press it over the areas that I just finished highlighting. Mostly under the eye area here in the very inner corner, because I want the glow, but I don't want it in the center area. So I like to just pack that underneath of my eyes. This is the JoJo powder combination. For those of you guys who are newer and don't know what that is, it is a mix of drugstore and drugstore powders, affordable powders that are just the perfect coloring. Sometimes a translucent powder leaves my skin super white underneath, and so this has almost like a pinkish undertone to it. You can't really see it on camera, but it's perfect for my skin tone. And so I've just mixed a ton of them. I think the total for all three is $25, which is the cost of one container in the higher end stores, at least at Sephora it is. And it's lasted me forever. I just remix whenever I'm running low and it works beautifully. Awesome, so while that is baking and doing its thing, let's go back to our underneath lower lash line. And what I like to do with the lower lash line is a mix of the two darker tones, so Kim and Resi. And we are just going to smudge that underneath. And with a dry spoolie, I did do a little boo-booing with my lower lash line, which I'm sure happens often, right? Right? Am I the only one? So what I'm gonna do is take the dry end of the spoolie, nothing on it. Once that mascara dries, you can literally just pick it off with the spoolie. Very gently, don't be crazy. A little bit of the powder with our bronzer. I'm gonna go in with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I'm telling y'all, I'm going for the glow. I'm going for the radiance today. We wanna look summer ready in the springtime. So we're just gonna retrace everything we just did with the creams. All right, once our bronzer is on, we can dust off the excess powder, which honestly there should not be any or much because of how great that formula is, but I'm just gonna dust it off anyways. My drugstore setting spray of choice, if not the best setting spray that I own, is the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set Spray. Comes in this black bottle. I would hold it pretty far away because it's pretty chunky, but it is amazing, guys. Try it, spray your face, spray your mask, spray your husband, boyfriend, so the makeup doesn't rub off on them, because honey, it's not going anywhere with the spray. I bathe myself in this because I want my skin to be as skin-like as possible. And so what I'll do is I will use my beauty sponge, beauty blender, after I'm done, spray myself and just push everything into one another to make sure that all my layers are truly just one beautiful layer. Look at our skin, oh, beautiful. So while that dries, let's do our brows. I'm actually going to use my e.l.f. What is it? e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil, which I love. I'm not gonna include this in the video because you guys know 1,000 times how I do my brows. If you want an updated video, just comment down below. We are going to do our highlight and our blush, and for that we're using this BH Cosmetics Blushing in Bali. So because we are still a little damp from our shower in that e.l.f. setting spray, we are gonna use our highlight, which is the frostiest one in this palette. It is called Glisten. So just apply that to the tops of the cheekbones. And I'm also gonna use this guy right here, Coral, in the cheek. All right, guys, so this is the finished look right here. For lips, we did a little bit of a combination of 2 drugstore products. They're actually my favorite lip combo at the moment for a nude moment, which we totally have going on here. So I did the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in Sandstorm, which is like my lip color. And then I did the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink in the shade Driver. I'm obsessed with these 2 colors. I'm obsessed with the way that this look came out. I think this is the perfect soft glam moment with, again, a little bit of a graphic liner. The skin looks absolutely stunning. Amazing. I love it. I hope that you guys did too. I did a little bit of a quick bun moment because that's all that I have time for today, because I gotta get to step in, get out of here, have a cute little photo shoot moment. Be on the lookout for some of that content on my Instagram or maybe here. I haven't quite decided just yet, but that is it for today's look. I hope that you guys liked it. Love you, bless you, and I will see you guys next time.